Today we have 10 criminally underplayed EDH cards. Starting off with number 10, we have Innocent Blood. This card's only in 8,217 decks. That's criminally underplayed to me. It's a sorcery for 1 black mana where it makes each player sacrifice a creature. If you love edict effects, this card is a shoo-in. If you love the creatures that ETB and make everybody sack a creature, this is another shoo-in. Also, if you play Turgid, God of Fright, and you don't run this card, you shouldn't run Turgid at all. And your play group says you probably shouldn't run Turgid at all, period, end of fact. Now the number 9, we've got Patchwork Automaton. This little 2-mana creature is only in 2,856 decks. This uncommon from the new Kamigawa set has Ward 2, and whenever you cast an artifact spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on Patchwork Automaton. So this guy will keep growing throughout the game. It's got a relevant creature type, construct, and it's hard to remove. So you can get in for those big beats, or you can just fling it at your opponent to get in a massive shot of damage. So please run this card in your artifact decks. It's pretty decent. Now on to number 8, we've got Taunting Elf. Come at me, bro. It's only in 2,768 decks. This is a 0/1 elf that costs 1 green mana, and all creatures able to block Taunting Elf must do so. So if you have a deck that runs green and focuses on attacking opponents in order to win the game, this card is a must-add. Board stalls do happen in creature-based metas, and Taunting Elf can break the board stall and take you the victory. I think he's better than Craterhoof Behemoth. Maybe? Probably not, but he's still pretty good. Add him to your deck. Then we've got number 7, Thought Picker Witch. You'll never draw a decent card again, I guarantee it. It's only in 1,469 decks, so it needs more play. For 1 black mana, you get a 1/1 Human Wizard that allows you to sacrifice a creature to look at the top 2 cards of an opponent's library, then remove one of the cards from the game. This makes a great Aristocrats card, but also you can lock your opponent out of the game with expendable tokens by making sure they never draw the stuff they need to win. Welcome to the Fate Seal Nation. Thought Picker Witch is the queen. Now the number 6, a card that's a lot of fun, not that powerful, but bases itself off a really powerful unfun card. That's Form of the Dragon. It's only in 1,157 decks. It's an enchantment for 4 red, red, red. At the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 5 damage to target creature or player. Creatures without flying can attack you, but your life total becomes 5 at the end of each turn. This card takes the text straight from the card Moat, but also gives you removal as well. So if you're in a Torbrand deck, an Obosh the Prey Piercer deck, this card can put in some definite work. Now to number 5, Gossamer Chains. It's only in 962 decks. It's an enchantment fog for only 2 mana. You can return it to your hand. Target unblocked creature deals no combat damage this turn. This card is out of control with any Enchantress type effects. If you have a Sithis deck, put this card in. You bounce it to your hand, play it, draw a card. Wash, rinse, repeat. Keep getting that card advantage and preventing that damage to you. And then our number 4, we've got Plagiarize. It's only in 578 decks. Let's get this card in more decks. It's an instant for 3 and a blue, and until end of turn, if target player would draw a card, instead, that player skips the draw and you draw the card instead. If you miss Hull Breacher from the banning, play this card. It's going to give you a similar feeling, but it's not quite as powerful and it's a one-time effect, so your play group won't hate you. But they might already hate you, so run the card. Who cares? Then on the number 3, a card that features a giant mech before giant mechs were cool in Bro War. That card is Void. It's only in 536 decks. It's a sorcery for 3 black red, and you get to choose a number. Destroy all artifacts and creatures with that converted mana cost. Then target player reveals his or her hand and discards from it all non-land cards with that converted mana cost. Void can blow out certain decks and rip apart a hand. However, I love using it against token decks. You just choose 0, wipe out all their treasure tokens, all their soldier tokens, and Miriam Sentinel Worm does not stand a chance against Void. We have 2 cards at number 2. LVMTG, are you drunk? Not really, but these cards are only in 280 decks each. The first one is Phyrexian Infiltrator. It lets you exchange control of it with another creature, so just steal their commander and shut down their game plan. Our other number 2 is Daru Spiritualist. It's a combo machine. Whenever a cleric you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, it gets +0/+2 until end of turn. Combine it with Lightning Greaves and Starlit Sanctum to gain a ton of life and be ahead of all your opponents. So run both these cards to add some spice to your deck building. And then on to number 1, Baron Spite. Sadly, it's only in 136 decks. It's a sorcery for 2 blue-black, and you choose 2 target creatures controlled by 1 player. That player chooses and sacks one, and then return the other one to their hand. Baron Master Wizard has had enough and he wants to 2-for-1 your opponents. So this card is a great tempo play and it gives your opponents an impossible choice. And making your opponents choose adds an element of spice to any Commander game. Hopefully you add some of these cards to your Commander arsenal so you can win some games with some unique tech. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on my latest.